Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be going over my complete guide for Guardian Games 2020. So this video will cover literally everything that I do know about the Guardian Games 2020, from the laurels to the farming to the medals to how the whole event works to the exotic quests and the shaders, the triumphs, everything that I know about this event. And on top of that, it's going to be in a beautiful doc, because you know when I say complete, I mean that there is a spreadsheet or a doc with it, and I love my docs and my spreadsheets, and I make them look very pretty. And of course, this doc is fully public for you guys to use. All you have to do is head over to my Discord server in the channel #YouTube Twitch. You can find a link to this doc right next to where I link this video. So just scroll up to the date of this video's release, you'll find a link to that doc. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the main content of this video and talk about the Guardian Games 2020, which takes place from April 21st to May 12th. So it's a 3-week event. So everything in this guide will only apply for those 3 weeks, and after that, everything will be reset back to the Season of the Worthy stuff. This event is an Olympic-style event that pits all 3 classes against each other to find out which is the best class. And the primary objective is to complete as many medals as possible to give more points for your team. Throughout the event, any ability kill while wearing the event class item will drop a laurel based on your class. These laurels are needed for progress on many of the event medals and quests. Now, Eva Levante is going to be the main vendor of the event. She offers many weekly, daily, and repeatable Guardian Games bounties. These bounties offer things like Bright Dust and XP, unfortunately not double XP like she did in the Dawning event, and these bounties task you with many different objectives based on your currently selected class, like arc melee kills, specific super kills, grenade kills, etc. She also offers 3 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze daily medals. Each has a corresponding level of difficulty and objectives, and these medals focus around 2 main activities for that day and rotate daily among PvP, Gambit, Strike, Forge, and Destination. She also offers the new Heir Apparent exotic heavy machine gun once you complete the class act triumph, alternate elemental affinities for the event class item, a pinnacle power vendor bounty for 25 medal points, and a daily class placement reward. Just a quick overview of the medals. For bronze, which is 1 point, the lowest requirement of kills, usually completed in 1 game or 10 minutes. For silver, which is 2 points, a medium requirement of kills and laurels, usually completed in 3 to 5 games or 30 to 60 minutes. And finally, for gold, which is actually 4 points. We thought before it was going to be 3 points, but gold is actually 4 points, is the highest requirement of kills and activity matches / games completed, and usually completed about the same time as silver in 3 to 5 games or 30 to 60 minutes. And obviously you can do a lot of different medals at the exact same time. You can also save up medals from day to day. Technically only really need to log in every other day and complete 4 sets of bounty. Moving on, we're going to be talking about the laurels and all my recommendations for getting the laurels for your class, for any of the 3 classes, for PvE, PvP, any of these specific medal types. So as I mentioned before, any ability kill will drop a laurel based on your class, and you need a lot of laurels for different event medals, quests, and all that whatnot, and you get 3 points of progress for laurels matching your class. So if you're Titan and you pick up a Titan laurel, that's 3 points, but if you're Titan you pick up a Hunter or Warlock laurel, that is 1 point. So you can still get progress from other people's laurels, but you should be teaming up with more Titans if you are a Titan. #Team Titans. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about the Titans for PvE. There's a whole bunch of different options you have. First of all, the Insurmountable Skullfort plus Striker for infinite melee ability kills. Hellfire Heart plus Code of the Fireforge for 10-second or lower grenades and melees. Doomfang Pauldrons plus Code of the Aggressor for a very, very long-lasting super. And for PvP, honestly, I would just go with Antaeus Wards plus Code of the Aggressor for a very easy approach with Antaeus, with a follow-up Shield Bash after the slide and a great super. And again, for PvP especially, you're going to need to team up with a lot of Titans, because there are a lot of Hunters in PvP. Which is one thing that's really easy for Hunters, is you're going to be around a lot of Hunters for PvP and going to get those laurels pretty quickly. Moving on to the Hunters, first up for PvE, one of my favorite combos, the Raiden Flex plus Way of the Warrior for infinite melee with Gambler's Dodge plus Combination Blow, and a very long-lasting and strong super. You can get 26 light attack hits with this super if you're hitting enemies the whole time, and that is a lot of laurel. Alternatively, you can go with Liar's Handshake plus Way of the Warrior because the Cross Punch exotic perk from Liar's Handshake triggers laurels for some reason. For PvP, there's a bunch of different options. I'm not a big hunter PvP player, but these are the options that I would recommend. First up, Shinobu's Vow plus Arc Staff for very fast charging and decent grenade kills, where Shinobu's Vow actually gives you an extra skip grenade, improves skip grenades, and skip grenade energy back on damage, which means you get more skip grenades. Next one is Lucky Raspberry plus Arc Staff for lots of Arc Bolt grenades. Lucky Raspberry has a chance to completely recharge your Arc Bolt grenades and has longer chaining effects for Arc Bolt, so that's just great for spawning more Hunter Laurels. And finally, Gwynson Vest plus Way of the Warrior for very long and strong super. And finally, for Warlocks in PvE, Sunbracers plus Attunement of Sky for literally infinite and instant grenades for a single melee kill. It is probably the strongest PvE option for getting laurels fast because you literally can chuck 5 solar grenades in the period of 5 seconds after getting a single charge melee kills, and if you do that in the air, you get the full charge melee back and just rinse and repeat. You cannot compete with the solar grenade. Honestly, when you see Altars of Sorrow with a Warlock spamming those nades at an altar, you're probably not going to get any laurels. However, there are a bunch of other alternatives that are stronger in endgame, things like Crown of Tempest plus Attunement of Control for very fast recharge on your abilities and a great super for PvE. Nezarec Sin plus Attunement of Hunger for fast grenade and melee charge for void kills. For PvP, there's 2 options I would recommend. Firstly, Crown of Tempest plus Attunement of Elements for very fast recharge and good super, and even with the nerf to Arc Web, it's still really nice to have Arc Web. And finally, Controverse Hold plus Attunement of Fission. Supernova grenades are still really nice, even post nerf to Controverse Hold and these supernova grenades, it's still something that a lot of people understand. And you do get grenade energy back for it, so you can get more of the kills. And finally, for the 5 different activities, first of all, for Crucible, just use the PvP options I list above, and of course, make sure you're doing those Rumble matches, because you need to get Rumble super kills to get the Embrace the Light Triumph. For Strikes, Gambit, and Forge, just use the PvE options that I recommend, and finally, for Destinations, of course, use the same PvE options, but you're going to want to do it in the Altars of Sorrow, because those guys spawn so quickly, very easily. Moving on to the event rewards, every single day Eva offers all Guardians a class placement reward based on their previous day's placement. Presumably you should get better rewards for gold than bronze, but it's not really clear or significant, and the rewards include blue gear, purple gear, enhancement cores, glimmer, and planetary materials. The Heir Apparent is the new exotic heavy machine gun for the event, and it is obtained by getting the Class Act Triumph for the event, which is 7 of the other triumphs. This weapon has a short spin-up period before it can be fired, but then fires very fast and stable at 900 RPM. Even on a controller, this thing was pretty stable. Also, when at full health and fully spun up, you get a very strong arc shield around you. As far as PvE goes, the DPS of this weapon is above average for heavy machine guns, but not better than Xenophage, and still not really an endgame meta weapon. In PvP, it can surprise a lot of people with its special shield and its DPS. It's actually pretty nice. There's also an exotic quest for the Guardian games that features 3 exotic ghost shells. These rival ghost shells can be acquired from a classy reward quest from Eva every single week of the event. And of course, after those 3 weeks, you can acquire all 3 ghost shells. Each shell has a Speed Demon, Guiding Light, and a random planetary perk. This quest is actually quite basic and only requires you to earn points by collecting laurels, and of course you get more points for your class's laurels. And throughout the event, each class's class item will be changed based on their placement in the Guardian games on the previous day. So the class with the most points will have the gold class item, second place will have the silver class item, and last place will have the bronze class item. And at the end of the event, all of the class items will lock with that class's total event placement, and that class will have bragging rights for the next year until Guardian Games 2021. And currently, Titans are kind of dunking on the competition, so it seems like gold on our class item for the next year. Next up, for the triumphs, we're going to talk very briefly about them. Not going to go into detail about each one of them, because you can actually read what each one requires. For the most part, you want to keep in mind the ones that give you emblems, shaders, the new exotic machine gun, because of course, that'll be the last opportunity for you to get those before the event ends. And as far as getting Class Act for the Heir Apparent Heavy Machine Gun, in my opinion, the hardest ones, meaning the ones you want to avoid or the ones you won't get first, are going to be gold medalists for 30 gold medals. That one actually just takes you a while. Show Your Colors, again, it just takes a bit longer to get and finish all those bounties. And Embrace the Light, which requires 25 Guardian super kills in Rumble. The rest of them you could probably complete in a couple days. And finally, Eververse will have many new event ghost shells, ships, sparrows, transmit effects, shaders, emotes, and ghost projections. And all of these items will be available for silver, a premium currency, and all but the finisher available for Bright Dust at some point during the 3 weeks of this event. And of course, there is an event exclusive Guardian Games 2020 themed universal ornament set being sold by Eververse for either 1500 silver or 6000 Bright Dust per class. And lastly, I just want to mention a few miscellaneous things. Firstly, the third week of the event will be double points for the final cup, so you have to work yourself very hard all the way up until the end. The medal points are also weighted based on the population of that class to alleviate the higher population of hunters. This supposedly evens the playing field, even though Titans are kind of dominating. And that's going to be pretty much it. That's going to be the end of the Guardian Games 2020 guide. Let me know if there's something that I missed, because I was racking my brain feeling like I'm missing something on this. And of course, if I did forget something or miss something, I will try to update that doc, because it's a Google Doc. I can update it live. And of course, if you do appreciate these guides, these docs, these videos, or anything that I do, please consider checking out my Patreon, because without your support, I may have to stop doing YouTube, stop making these docs, stop making my spreadsheets, and of course, stop chasing my dream. So please check out the Patreon in the description down below, and please donate if you can. But that's it. My name has been Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.